Marvel Comics has a vast array of characters with incredible powers, and while some are well known and easily recognized by fans, there are many lesser known mutants who also deserve recognition. Welcome back, Nerd Squad, it's me, Amanda McKnight, aka VampX13. Today we'll be talking more about these often unrecognized and uncelebrated mutants as we count down the top 10 Marvel mutants you've never seen before. Although hopefully at least a few of you have seen a few of them. Come on. Have you been doing your mutant homework? And if so, what have you been reading? Let me know in the comments. Number 10, Dirtnap. Dirtnap is a weird character, but one who kind of has a beautiful story. Dirtnap originally appeared as one of Genesis's Dark Riders, Tyler Dayspring's Genesis. Dirtnap was a mutant with the ability to absorb beings into himself, thereby adopting their form. However, you would know it was Dirtnap because of a red smiley face that would appear somewhere on him, either on his clothes or his body while in that form. While fleeing from Wolverine, however, he absorbed a rat and either became stuck within or perhaps simply preferred this form, keeping it. Dirtnap would later on actually end up joining the X-Men, befriending Generation X, and even go on to sacrifice his own life to protect his team. However, during the Krakoan era, Dirtnap was spotted spying on Lockheed in 2022's Marauders in issue number 6, with an indicator visible that he had returned to his evil ways, that devilish red smiley face. And friends, before I move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, why not show us you love us by clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any good old nerdy content. Number 9, Abigail Brand. Abigail Brand is the head of SWORD, a division of S.H.I.E.L.D., specifically created to deal with defending the Earth from extraterrestrial threats. Aliens and any other external threats to the planet were SWORD's thing. Abigail Brand is one that we often forget about when it comes to heroes who are mutants because she is also an alien herself. Part alien anyway. Her dad was an alien and her mother was a human, but her mother was also a mutant, which is how Abigail herself ended up with an active X gene. Her mutant ability allows her to emit a hot blue energy from her hands that burns through most metals. She also can speak most alien languages, even ones that human mouths can't quite manage to wrap their tongues around. Number 8, Madelyne Pryor. While Madelyne has played ally to the X-Men on multiple occasions, she is not herself an X-Men, nor has she ever been one. And surprisingly, she is not easily recognized. Well, actually, I guess while Madelyne Pryor has played ally to the X-Men on multiple occasions, she's not herself an X-Men, nor has she ever been one. Well, I mean, she does have her dark X-Men right now, but she kind of created that herself. I don't really know if we count that because she wasn't really recruited, but hey, you know what? She is kind of doing it. Surprisingly though, she's still not easily recognized. Trust me, I'm a Maddie cosplayer, and oftentimes people are confused when I'm dressed as her about who exactly I'm supposed to be. Madelyne Pryor was created to be used as a pawn by Sinister to get the child he so desperately wanted, the offspring of Jean and Scott's genes, with Maddie being a clone of Jean Grey. In her romance with Scott Summers, she was abandoned, left alone with their newborn when he returned to the X-Men after Jean was revealed to still be alive. Maddie has it kinda tough in regards to her life, to be honest. But hey, you know, at least she's making some progress, I gotta say, I love to see it. Number 7, Manifold. Manifold is probably one of the most powerful teleporters we have out there, and he isn't even really technically a teleporter. Manifold's powers allow him to communicate with the universe and basically ask it to bend over backwards to do his bidding. He can just ask the universe to literally fold itself in half so that he can jump from one point to another point, because it's been folded, moving even all the way across the universe and beyond, seemingly teleporting but really just communicating with the cosmos. The only downside to his powers is that because they're about communicating with the universe, he can really only do this within the 616 reality, because that's his universe. Recently, Manifold was part of the mutant adjacent SWORD team. Number 6, Silhouette. Silhouette is actually an awesome mutant. She is one of the few mutants who retained her powers after M-Day and is known as a magical or mystical mutant. Her powers originate from the universal spring known as the Well of All Things. She is the child of a Cambodian woman named Miami and an American man named Andrew Cord. Silhouette is both her alias and her birth name, and she is believed to be part of a group of descendants who are destined to have power and to unite the east and western ways of the world. After being partially paralyzed by a gunshot, Silhouette was forced to fight while using crutches, but this has never stopped her from kicking serious butt with a combination of Dark Force energy, teleportation, and impressive martial arts skills. Even when she has her crutches, actually, which I love. Love to see it. Number 5. Vulcan. Despite being one of the most powerful mutants around who is considered to be Omega level, Vulcan actually hasn't appeared as much. Some of the other more popular, but honestly, in most cases, less powerful mutants. Vulcan's mutant powers are energy manipulation and absorption. Despite his insane power levels, he tends to somehow be the lesser known of all of the Summers brothers. He has also demonstrated the ability to absorb his opponent's powers as well and use them for himself on rare occasions. That's OP. Vulcan is the youngest Summers brother, also known as Gabriel or Gabe Summers, and we only learned of his existence in 2006 when he first appeared in the comic X-Men Deadly Genesis issue number 1. Yet he is considered the most powerful of those three. Despite him technically being from Earth, Vulcan mainly grew up in space in a stasis pod where his aging was accelerated until the point of peak adolescence. Number 4. Tempo. Tempo is super cool. Having seen a little bit more of her through the Marauders series, I have been greatly impressed by her power set, I gotta say. Tempo basically has the power to manipulate and in a way control time. She can speed it up, slow it down, she can change the tempo of it, if you will, and can manipulate it in her own way. Time control to me is something that has always been super powerful. We don't see a lot of mutants that have that power, we don't see a lot of heroes that have that power. Did you know Tempo was actually one of the mutants who you could have voted for the X-Men elections in recent years? Yep, she received a nomination. However, she sadly did not win the vote, and as a result, she didn't get to be on the team. Sad. But at least she did get to be on the one-shot secret X-Men team, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that little one-shot. And later on, she would end up joining, of course, the Marauders. Number 3. Isca The Unbeaten. Isca is truly unbeatable. Even the closest I have ever seen to her being beaten, she wasn't really beaten. She still kinda won that battle. Thanks to her mutant powers, the only way she can be beaten is if by her winning, she would also kinda lose. Sound confusing? Let me explain. The Fisher King on planet Arakko, formerly known as Mars, ended up challenging Isca to a battle of understanding. The Fisher King did this as a way to get back at Isca, the traitor, who had turned on her own people in the past and again when Uranos first attacked. And so, to beat her in his own way, and knowing that he wouldn't win, he challenged her to a battle of understanding, where the winner is the one who most truly understands the meaning of loss. By winning, Isca was forced to feel immense grief over all that she had lost as a result of always having to be on the winning side as per her powers, and so in winning, she still lost. Number 2. Solem. Solem is one of the new X-Men villains on the block and also is of course a mutant. Solem is a mutant from Arakko who instead of having adamantium bones possesses adamantium skin, which is actually his mutation as opposed to something that happened to him from Weapon X. He was one of the sword bearers of Arakko during the Ten of Swords tournament. In fact, he was one of the mutants that we expected to face off against Wolverine. But in an unexpected turn of events, Solem didn't even really fight at all in that tournament. He was initially set to fight against one of his own because this was Saturnine's tournament and it was gloriously weird, but instead Solem used a favor owed to him by Wolverine from when they both had to venture to Hell to get their Muramasa blades together so that they could enter the tournament, and also use, of course, said blades in the tournament, forcing Wolverine to tap into the fight on his behalf. So that's how he got out of it. It's pretty powerful to have like Wolverine owe you a favor. That's what I think. I would definitely enjoy if Wolverine owed me a favor. He can do a lot of pretty crazy stuff for you. Number 1. Brimstone Love. Whether we're talking about the Brimstone Love of Earth 928 or the Brimstone Love of Earth 616, both are honestly extremely obscure. The original Brimstone Love, who first appeared in the Age of Apocalypse reality or AOA, only made 8 appearances, while the main continuity version of the character has only made, I believe, 3 appearances. Both are the leader and the man behind the Theater of Pain. Tragically, while Brimstone Love was a newer villain to the Earth 616 continuity, making his first appearance in the first annual issue number 1 of the second volume of Marauders from 2022, he also probably won't be seen again if you haven't seen him yet. This is because Brimstone Love perishes, or at least is believed to have perished, as of the end of that Marauders run, issue number 12. He has a really great design, and his sadism was interesting to see, especially in one who is so strong in his convictions. So kinda sad to see him go, but yeah. That's about it. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.